try to keep the video very clean, and as you might know that the June 20th for the consoles Necrom is coming, I'm making this video, but I will of course revamp this tank setup, Dragonknight, with the new Mythic. Some people argue that it is not even good and it got nerfed on the PTS, we all know, but it is still worth a try if you can build it around just for the Mythic without losing any buff at all. So for this reason we will start off with the character stats, and if we go into here you can see my attributes: 38 magic, 1 health, 25 stamina. We don't need too much health, and you need to keep the stamina higher than your magicka. That's because at the end the tank is the stamina tank. So if you look at the stats, 23.800 maximum stamina with 23.745 maximum magicka. So the stamina needs to be higher. That's because when you get the shard or the orb, etc., you will first fill the missing stamina, whichever is higher. So for this reason I just had to put 1 health into that attribute, or you can just get it and put this into the stamina, because you cannot put into magicka, otherwise you will get magicka when you get the orb or shard or something. So we have 865 magic recovery without a potion, with potion 1.1k, no health recovery cause we are vampire stage 4. You can see that, and the reason is that I'm at vampire is because this passive, Undead, reduce your damage taken by up to 30% based on your missing health. So the more health that you are missing, you are gonna get more damage reduction. So the resistance is unbuffed 23.6k, and if we buff ourselves you can see 32.5k on each, and the cap is 33k. So the more resistance is not gonna work, so 33k is the top that you can get with that. The frost resistance is very much higher compared to other ones. That's because we are north. So when we look at the north passive, frost resistance, max health, max stam, you get ultimate when you get the damage, and you get physical and spell resistances by 2.6k as well. And our Mundus stone is Atrona to get mag recovery, and that's it for the stats. And on the inventory, the front bar, I'm using the master axe and the shield. The axe is reducing the weapon and spell damage of the target, and it is infused to get the benefit more from it. And the shield is sturdy with the triune glyph on it. And basically what it does is, when you use the puncture and pierce armor ability, you heal 4.8k health, and you get spell and physical resistance equal of the amount of healing or over healing as well, and the healing will scale off your maximum health. So the more health you have, the more healing and resistance you are gonna get. You might think like this is overkill. That's because we are already nearly at the cap, just missing 500. It is still good. That's because some bosses gonna reduce your resistances. So basically you are gonna get like 5 to 10k healing and resistance from it. Of course when you completely buff yourself, etc., and the resistance is gonna increase because you are gonna increase your healing received, etc. And on the helmet and shoulder, it is Nazarai. It is just increasing the major and minor debuffs by 1 second per 20 ultimate you have spent, and it is gonna proc every 30 seconds for each enemy. So this is very good to increase your teammate debuffs, major and minor included, and you get a little bit health. They are triune, and the helmet is sturdy, the shoulder is reinforced. It is kinda good to have reinforced in here. And the chest, as you can see, we have pearlescent set. Health, you get a 5% damage reduction, 4% healing taken, 1.2k max health, and you apply the buff. So what is it? The pearlescent ward increases weapon and spell damage by up to 180 based on the number of group members that are alive. So basically, the people in your group is alive, that you are gonna get up to 180 weapon and spell damage for 12 people. And if someone dies, basically what it does, gives you the damage reduction in the group up to 66%. So the more people is dead in your group, the more damage reduction you and your teammate is going to get. Of course, this is kinda useless if you are running Trifecta trials or something like that. So for this reason you can ignore that bonus set effect completely. So from the pearlescent ward we have the chest, sturdy, the waist, sturdy with the triune glyph, the hands, legs, and the feet. So this is the basic, oh no, sorry. The chest is pearlescent ward, I'm completely confused. The leg and the feet is pearlescent ward. Hand and the waist is Dragonknight. So the hand and the waist is also, as I said, sturdy and the triune glyph. But in here we do have 2 ring infused with the reduced cost of block. So that way you can get 3 pieces of pearlescent ward. So basically 2 rings, feet, leg, and the chest of the pearlescent ward, because you will want to keep the pearlescent up all the time. You don't wanna lose any bonus damage from it. And on the back bar as well, we have Dragonknight, and you can see the first item is the necklace infused cost of block. Dragonknight is basically when you taunt enemy, you give yourself and 11 group members minor courage, increasing weapon and spell damage by 215. So it is stacking with the pearlescent ward, because the buff you get from pearlescent ward is not minor courage, so they do stack. And the thing is that it is just gonna work on the back bar. So we have 1 necklace, hand, and the waist from Dragonknight, and also on the back bar we have the Dragonknight ice staff with the infused trait, and reduce target physical and spell resistances by 2.1k for 5 seconds. So the bonuses is pretty much kinda same with the pearlescent, 1.2k health, you get the damage reduce thing, stamina, and again maximum health and the buff. So basically you need to go to your back bar and taunt with the clench in order to get the Dragonknight buff. So let's just charge my weapon as well. So it is just up the whole time on your back bar. So since it is an ice staff, when you block, you can make it to spend the magicka or not if you don't want. And you will want to keep this up because they buffed clench recently, so the range on this is not anymore 15 or 14 meter, I guess, and now instead it is 28 meters. It is gonna apply chill status effects, and it is gonna taunt the enemy, and it is gonna put the major maim, reducing the damage stun of the enemy, and gonna immobilize the guy as well. So this is very much insane thing. So this is pretty much the setup for the inventory. I'm using Tri-Stat Food. You can use Baby Sugar Skull even, but there's no thing no sense using it because we are a vampire. I'm using the crown restoration potions, just tri-stat potions. Straight, you can use this, you can use this, it doesn't matter, it is just the same. Just max out, max magic, max stamina and recovery for all of those. And this is quite good because you can see the recoveries are quite nice with that. And about the skills. So, since I'm running Griffin Arts right now with my team, I'm using the charging maneuver. You might say, oh, Qiuvox, why don't you use Unrelenting Grip? It is also giving you the speed. Like, why would you use this at all? Because it is free. And why you use the charging maneuver instead? Well, that's because it is giving the speed to me and to my people. And it is giving the movement speed by 30% and 15% respectively for 8 seconds. And I don't need a target to use the charging maneuver. I can use it wherever I want. That's because in the Griffin Arts progress right now, if the boss, the slug, teleports, I cannot use the chain. I mean, you need to exactly know when to use the chain before he teleports. That's because even when he starts to teleport, you cannot use the chain anymore and you are not gonna get the speed buff, major and minor expedition from the just major expedition from the chain basically. And it is very much spending 6.8k stamina, but this is very good DPS increase for you and for your teammate. That's because you are giving up speed to the whole team. The second one is Ignatius Shield. It is just giving you and your team is a little bit damage shield, and it scales with your maximum health and also gives you major mending by 16%. So whenever you need to heal, you just do this, and then do this to heal yourself. Just before every heal, basically you are gonna use the Ignatius Shield, and when you think you are getting too much damage from the enemies or something, it is better to use the Ignatius Shield, and like literally you can spam as well. The reason that is because, oh, not here, it is here. The reason that is, if I guess it is this one. Reduce your damage taken by 10% while blocking and under the effects of a damage shield. So for this reason, if you think you are getting too much damage, you should just use Ignatius Shield, reduce the damage taken further. Green Dragon Blood, it is the thing that you should only use when you have less health than around 30%. Like if you are in the execute, this is the moment where you need to use the Dragon Blood. I'm gonna give you health recovery, stun recovery, healing received as well, and you should just keep this up. Eruption, it is just putting the AoE right here. The reason that is I'm using that in this tank is also kind of course the damage, but of course the main reason you should use this because in the portal tank, because I'm main tank in the Griffin Arts VCR plus 3, and I'm also the portal tank. So if you know the VCR, when you put this onto the portal, basically all those little things is not going up. They kinda stuck in here for some reason, because they are getting damage and they just cannot use the animation and it is kinda interrupting or something. I'm not really sure. It is also reducing their movement speed, maybe it is related with that. I'm not quite sure about this. And the Pierce Armor is basically major breach and minor breach, reducing physical and spell resistance of the enemy and taunting them. And the front bar is a reviving barrier. You can use the barrier or you can go and use the temporal guard, you get minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5%. So you just gonna put this on your bar and you're not even going to touch that skill. So yes, I'm sorry, you gotta farm Qiuvox skill line for this, but you need the temporal guard. On the back bar we have balance, you get major resolve, physical and spell resistances, and from the resolving vigor you are gonna get minor resolve as well, so you get the 2 of the buffs. And when you run out magicka, you can literally just keep blocking and just spam. For example, if I just do this, you are just gonna keep blocking, spam the balance, your team is going to heal you anyways, so it is not going to be a problem, and this is very good exchange as well. Elemental susceptibility. Susceptibility? Is it? Yeah, it is susceptibility, I guess. It just puts major breach, and every 7.5 seconds the enemy is afflicted with burning chill and concussion status effect, so you need to use that thingy on the portal, on the shards, so your teammate can literally destroy, and also you can off balance them with this too. And it is not that just for the shards, you can use this skill on any boss, any ad, in anywhere, any trial. Don't think of this like for this setup is just for VCR. No, it is not. You can use it pretty much with a little to no tweak with that. Resolving vigor, as I said, healing and some minor resolve buffs, resistances. Ignatius weapon, major brutality and major sorcery for your team, increasing weapon spell damage by 20% for 72 seconds. This is insane. And the frost clench, you taunt the guy, you deal a little bit damage, put shield effect on them, you proc your Necrom, and you debuff the guy with major maim, reducing their damage down by 10%. And the horn basically is gonna let you increase magic and stamina of the team by 10%. You and your allies gonna get major force, increase crit damage by 20% as well, and it is gonna proc pretty much Nazariah. So you are not gonna, since you know you are not gonna use temporal guard, you are gonna use the horn and rotate it with your teammate, and this is the thing that you should do with your team. And on the passives you can get literally anything, light, medium, heavy if you want, but I'm full heavy, so I don't bother getting light and medium at the moment. We are vampire, you should get undead here, and also Qiuvox passives right here, undaunted passives, sport if you want. If you wanna use the barrier, you need that magic recovery one in here. And we are north, and we have the medical use from here too. So the flex skills, the first thing, you can replace charging maneuver with the choking talents, and instead of using the eruption, you need to use stone giant to debuff the guy further, in some other trials at least. Otherwise you can keep using the eruption. Definitely you should keep using eruption for the VCR, and you can replace that choking talents with deep breath maybe. That's because some trials, like for example Vimol hard mode, if you are having trouble handling the ads as an off tank on the Vimol hard mode Rakat, because there's like a 3 archer that is gonna do some heavy charged attacks, so you can just literally deep breath and interrupt them pretty much while using the stone giant too. The thing that you should worry about is when you use the stone giant, the character stops blocking. You might have seen it, and this is pretty much you need to worry about it, because look at that. I'm using Initial Shield, it is still blocking. I'm using Heart, but if I use this, it removes block. So be careful with this when you are doing some serious trial or something like that, because your block is just gonna disappear like this. It is not blocking, you cannot animation cancel that thing as well, as far as I know, at least. Those are the skills. The champion point on the green one, it is completely up to you what to use it. I'm using Rationer, I'm using Liquid Efficiency to save some money, Treasure Hunter in here, and also Professional Upkeep, reduce the cost of repairing armor by 50%. So when I need to repair it is just not gonna cost too much. On the blue one, you can get those usual things right here, and if we go into here, the first thing, Ironclad, reduce your damage taken from direct damage attacks by 6%, and unassailable, you reduce the AoE attacks by 6%, reduce your damage taken from dots by 6% and during resolve, and Duelist rebuff, reduce your damage taken from single target attacks by 6%. Again, there is like a Bulwark, you can get more physical and spell resistances, but you exactly don't need it with this setup. So it is better to reduce the damage that you take. Because we are North, we are already getting some passives and stuff, so you don't exactly need anything else in there. And on the red one, we do have Pain's Refuge. The more negative effect you have, the more damage reduction that basically you are gonna get, up to 20%. This is the first thing. And in here, since I'm the portal guy in VCR, I'm using the celerity to get 10% movement speed, which you can replace this. I will come into that. And in here we have Bracing Anchor. While in combat, increase the amount of damage you can block by 20%, but it is gonna reduce your movement speed by 16% in all stages. The final one, Ward Master, reduce your damage taken by 10% while you are blocking and under the effects of Ignatius Shield or Damage Shield if your team is giving you. In this one, Wind Chaser, instead of Celerity, in the trials that you don't need to run, you can use Fortified to get 1.745 resistance, I guess. This is the thing. So you will be totally kind of with just balance and resolving rigor. You are gonna pretty much be at the cap without the Master Sword and Board, which is insane in my opinion. So that's it for the champion points. And what is this notification? Black Rose. Wow, I still need Unchained though. If I can go with my team, then I can get Unchained. As far as I know, this is it for this build video. I'm gonna definitely show some proper trials with that setup, and I'm also going to update this when the patch comes, but I just might need to make another tank with the maybe Arcanist tank, probably make an Arcanist tank and use the new Mythic instead of my Dragonknight. I should maybe use it in my Arcanist and make a pretty much good setup for the Arcanist tank in the new patch. So I'm not quite sure about this. I might also update and race change, because the fact that for the new Mythic you need to race change for it, you cannot be North. So you need to get resistance somewhere else, like champion points that, as I mentioned, or some skills, extra skills. some potions maybe, you need to figure it out, maybe something else. You know, you get what I'm trying to say, because the mythic needs some sort of different build for it. This build, you cannot use mythic with this. It is impossible. You are gonna die. The mythic basically gonna eat your stamina, but it is gonna give you huge damage reduction. I mean, it is not because this build is squishy at all. This is just insane. I mean, you don't even die if you don't make mistakes. And even if you do make mistake, there is your teammates that is gonna help you with that. Gonna heal you, gonna take the aggro off you if you need. You can communicate and all, etc. And this is pretty much it. So, for this reason, I'm not 100% sure if I really need to do this to the Dragonknight, because it is so tanky already. But just for the sake of a video and for the new class, I might use the new mythic and when I get my hands on it. I mean, I do have my hands on the PTS, but it is not the same having on the live servers like this, where I mainly play on the PS5. So for this reason, I probably gonna make the mythic with the Arcanist and with different race to min-max everything properly with different sets maybe. It is completely depending on what sort of team composition that you do have. So, the final words. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you all in the next one. Take care of yourself.